What's really unique here for the museum is we have an individual that has a Harrisburg connection for many, many years. He's buried not far here from the museum. So one of the things that we wanted to do here is tell the story of an African-American soldier that fought in the American Civil War. And what's really great about this story is it also pertains to someone that is from this area, that's local. About 180,000 African-American soldiers fought in the Union Army in the Civil War. Ephraim Slaughter is one of those men.
I knew my grandfather. I was a small child, but I would ride in the parades on Memorial Day with him and sell poppies, because that's what we did back in the day on Memorial Day, sell poppies, and the money went to the veterans. It was a habit of his going to the corner pub to have a glass of wine, and then I'd walk him back down the hill.
But his experience is very unique because he comes from North Carolina, and he escaped from slavery on the plantation in North Carolina and joined Union forces early in 1864. And he signed up for 3-year service as a member of the 37th, what was called the United States Colored Troops. That was the official designation of Union soldiers fighting in the Army in the Civil War.
My story comes much later. There's 13 years between me and my sister. So he had already passed when I was a young child, but I used to stay with my grandmother, and she had a cedar chest. And so when I would look in that cedar chest, I saw his service hat. I believe it's called a kufi, and I used to play with it. But I also went with my grandmother. He had purchased numerous properties around Harrisburg. She was collecting rent.
Born in 1846, he died in 1943, and this is Ephraim in his Grand Army of the Republic uniform, which is the Union Veterans Organization that was founded after the American Civil War. So it gives us the ability here at the museum to tell a story not only about the soldiers in the Civil War, African-American soldiers, but later on too, the veterans component of that.
When President Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address, my grandfather was there. He wasn't allowed to sit on the stage with the white troops, but he was there. So that's important to know.
That's why we're here today, because of the little bit we knew, but my daughter, during her college experience, did all the research. She has slave records, she has so many things that we didn't know, their birthplaces and where they, their families, which slave owners own them. She has all that history that we weren't aware of. So it's interesting in being black and saying, what is my history and where did I come from and where do I fit in? Her research helped us know who we are and what our history looked like.
Ephraim he was married, he had a first wife. She died, and then he married our grandmother, who was a widow.
I believe she was his caretaker, and in those days, you just didn't live with a woman without being married to her. And then to see pictures of his horse-drawn carriage when he died, they had a real formal funeral. It is an honor for my grandfather to be remembered and to have this honor of the statue of his likeness, because I am the last in the family to have known my grandfather.